you have a question, you go ahead and raise your hand. Matt, you go ahead.
Hi, Amber. Congrats on the draft today. Hope everything went as planned. Just out of general curiosity, was there anything particular or specific you guys were looking for?
Yes, we were looking for a player that can, bring a veteran presence to us. We have a really, really young team this season, younger than, any team that we've had since I've, been in DC and since the Go-Go have, been in existence. And so finding a positive veteran presence that we can pair with some of the young guys that we have now was of importance to us. We were also looking for some depth at the forward position also. We were a little thin there and kind of heavy at the guard position, so that's something that we try to identify and select in the second round, and I think we accomplished both of those goals today.
Can you share anything about who all's in the war room for the draft? Like who else is involved in the decision-making process?
Yeah, so it was, our entire G League staff. I, love to involve our coaches. I think they bring great versatility in their perspectives, to our decision-making process. The rest of our front office staff was in there too. Nico Peralta, Diana Heimowitz, and just the rest of our staff was in there. And then one thing that was pretty cool is Tommy Shepard and Brett Greenberg were in there also for the entire draft, and just them showing their support meant a lot to myself as well as the rest of our staff. Just having them in there and being able to just kind of feed off of their guidance and advice in real time was extremely helpful.
Thank you. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amber, congrats on the draft. I was going to ask you a little bit. I saw you chatting with Tommy yesterday at the Wizards game. Curious, does he give you any kind of advice or strategy going into this kind of draft situation?
Yeah, he actually shot me a text this morning and was like, today is going to be a good day. Stay positive, stay calm. Always have multiple options, and so I kind of went into the process this morning, with that in the back of my mind, and it helped us throughout our draft process. And, he was there offering guidance in real time as guys were selected, as our pick was, approaching. He was there just giving feedback, but also just being supportive and being a sounding board. And I thought that was really cool of him to do, and it just kind of speaks to just like our relationship and just having him as a mentor, and just him being empowering to not only myself but our entire staff. It was just really cool to see.
Thanks, Amber. Good luck this season.
Thank you, Neil.
Marcus.
Hey, Amber, you mentioned Tommy. Just how much do you guys see to each other as far as the roster and who you wanted to take today, with an eye on the Wizards' current roster and their situation? How much synergy is it between the two, and how much does that play a part in who you selected today?
Yeah, so he and I have been in communication. We talk, multiple times every day, whether it's in person or on the phone. And throughout our draft process this week, I was always keeping him in the loop with our draft board and our rankings and players that, we put on our board, players that we removed. And he and I kind of see things eye to eye in terms of like things that we value. At this level, the Wizards really have a lot of depth. So our roster, and approach for this draft process wasn't really finding talent, for the Wizards per se, but it was, finding really good guys that we can bring in our system to one, help the guys that we have that, are on the Wizards radar. And then two, take a swing at some guys with some potential talent that could be something, in the next few years that could potentially, be something. And I think that he's very supportive of that. And he just kind of empowered us to, really just take the process and apply it and do what we wanted to do. He wasn't micromanaging at all. He was just like, you guys, you put the work in to be here. I trust you. Just let me know if you need anything from me. Like, we had our board, and the first time I think he saw it was this morning when we finished finalizing it, and he didn't have, anything negative to say about the board. He was like, this, you guys did a good job. And so I think that, that's just very helpful, just, having him, help us, or having him guide us,
And how many players do you plan on having coming to training camp?
Yeah, so we selected 3 players in the draft, and then we picked up additional player in the player pool. We can have a max of 15 in camp, and for training camp, from our standpoint, it's important to have as many bodies as possible. We were a little. It's a different year for us. Us not playing in the bubble last season, we lost. Well, us not playing in the bubble last season. Some of our guys that we had 2 years ago have transitioned to play internationally. And we're very supportive of that, but we had, limited resources in terms of players that sign in that usually make up that 15. So we basically utilized all resources that we had at the G League level. So, we took advantage of the affiliate rule and guys that we had from Wizards training camp. We have our two-ways filled. We made our 3 draft picks. Usually we don't make 3 because we have, enough bodies in camp, but this year was a little different. And then for the first time, we ended up, claiming guys in the acquired pool after the draft was over, so that we can kind of get to that number, because, we have injuries, the Wizards have injuries. So we're just trying to make the best of the opportunity that we have.
And you mentioned international guys going overseas. How much do you see that as a competition for G League altogether? Having players almost being able to decide between international play and the NBA G League. How competitive is that to keep guys to stay home?
Yeah, it's really competitive. But here we're really supportive. Like, we want all of our guys to develop and get to where they want to go career wise, and that doesn't always mean the NBA. We just want them to, financially take care of themselves, doing something that they love. And those opportunities may present themselves overseas. And so we're not upset when we lose a guy to a better opportunity. That's what we want. And that's what we develop and prepare these guys for every day. So it's competitive, yes. But I would say that, like, unlike, some G League teams, we prioritize development here. And we're just as happy if a guy gets, an opportunity overseas as we would be if they got an opportunity with the Wizards. It's 1A and 1B to us. So that's how we approach it.
Thank you, Amber.
No problem. Thank you.
Sorry, just a couple more quick ones. I think all 3 guys you took had played in the G League before. Did that play into decision making, that they kind of understand how the league works and would kind of, understand the travel and the things that go with it?
Well, I think Rodney was really the only one out of the 3, I think, that played in the G League. Jakai played at Queen's University last year, and Jakai is actually a cool story because he was at our local tryout. And so that just speaks to, finding talent through our local tryout process. We ended up drafting him. And so I would say that yes, you want your veteran G League guys on your team, and you being able to use the draft to acquire those guys is definitely beneficial, but it's not the end all be all. I mean, I think, being able to, find your veteran, but also, find a guy with potential is just as important. And I think we accomplished both goals today. And so I'm really excited about getting these guys into camp on Monday and seeing Coach Mike, coach them up. I think it's going to be exciting. And I mean, our whole motto this year is it takes what it takes, and, make the best out of all of our situations. And I think we did that today with the draft. And I think we're going to do that this season, regardless of whatever situation we're in.
Rodney, having played at Georgetown, did that make it easier to get intel on him, or to, scouted him in the past?
Yeah, we were, familiar with Rodney. He played against us 2 seasons ago and actually, had a really good game. So we were very familiar with him. Obviously, we have John Thompson III here to lean on, a Georgetown great. So we definitely did our research on Rodney, and he's a great person, great character. he's going to be just a great presence, similar to, how Anthony Gill is for the Wizards, just, being that consistent, great positive presence, like goes a long way on the team. And he kind of fills that void for us. And we're very excited about having him, with our group.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Amber. Loud mic right here. All right. If you have questions for Mike, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get started. Go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering, I know we're very early in the process and you're about to go to training camp. Now that you kind of see the players that are coming to training camp, do you have a good idea of what you want to do schematically, both offensively and defensively?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to try to maximize the strengths and abilities of each of our players. And now that we have a little bit more clarity on who will be here with us, we can kind of cater toward that. Obviously, a lot of our offensive and defensive schemes will mirror what the Wizards do, but then we'll throw in some wrinkles. We'll throw in some wrinkles here and there to kind of get guys in certain positions that'll help them be more effective on the court.
And in the drafting of the three guys that you got today, could you give just a little bit on each one and how you think they can contribute and in what areas?
Sure. So I'll start with Rodney first. Rodney, obviously, he has great experience in the G League. He's played, I think, almost 100 games. He can shoot. He can play multiple positions. He can get the rebound and go. And then defensively, he can guard multiple positions as well. So he's just a versatile wing player that'll be great for us. Jakai is an amazing athlete. He's 6'7", can jump out of the gym, but he also has good feel. Like he can handle the ball. He can shoot a little bit. And again, kind of with like Rodney, he can defend multiple positions. I think he can actually guard 1 through 4, especially at the G League level. And then Jermaine, same thing, right? And guys who can do a little bit of everything, can shoot a little bit, can pass a little bit, can score in the paint. And then guys who can defend multiple positions. We can be really creative with him. We could get aggressive and blitz pick and rolls. We can also switch pick and rolls. So just a lot of guys who are versatile, who can do a lot of different things. And we'll try to utilize that as much as we can.
Neil.
Hey, Mike. I'm curious in, your participation with the Wizards training camp. Obviously it was Coach, Wes Unseld's first time going through that. Is there any, tidbits or anything like that you picked up that you hope to implement with your guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest things watching Wes run training camp and throughout the preseason is just how clearly he explains things. He's very, very good at making sure that guys understand what he's saying and what he's trying to get out of them. And he's really clear on that. From a schematic standpoint, just learning all the coverages and the offensive kind of spacing things has definitely been helpful. But just watching how he interacts with the guys and carries himself has been very helpful to me to kind of figure, okay, this is in this situation, I can talk to this guy like this. It's just different things like that. Watching Wes and how he interacts with everybody. I hope that answers the question.
Yep. Thanks, Mike. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Neil.
Matt.
Hey, Mike. Congrats on being the go-go coach. I haven't had a chance to wish you well in that role, but it's kind of a tough job, right? Because you have a changing roster almost game to game. How do you guys, anticipate preparing for call-ups and guys being able to shift between the two teams and still, going out and being able to win games?
Right. I mean, first, I think it starts with clear communication, understanding who's going to come with us at certain times, but then also communicating to the guys who are on standard G League contracts. Hey, when this guy comes to us, your minutes are going to dwindle a little bit. He has to play. So first starts with communication. And then I think being flexible is just part of the G League. You're not really going to know what's coming, but once it happens, you just have to be able to adjust, think clearly, and think quickly. And it helps that I have such a great staff with me. Our coaches are great, and they all have G League experience. And so being able to lean on them and rely on them, plus Amber as well. She's been around the G League for a long time, and so just having that kind of cocoon of people to rely on is very helpful.
Gotcha. Thanks and good luck.
Thanks, Matt.
Any other questions? All right, Mike.
Cool. Thank you all. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate you guys joining us. we'll send out some information regarding the start of training camp this week.
Thanks, man.